This episode of Capes and Lunatic Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for the super fast Superconnectivity this week. Technical problems galore, but we are surviving. We are survivors, just like this travel. Okay, I am your host, Charlie the Sir, and with me, as always, the man providing financing for this and many other Southgate Media properties.
I have no financing. Fill me in Perich and get kind of choppy.
Well, someone's getting financed. Don't know who, but someone is. Hopefully this is going to put Molly through college. That's.
No, Robert. Yes.
It's not working. It's all for Molly. It's. Someday we'll all be working for her. That's the goal. Okay, so the big news this week in the world of Marvel is Iron Fist dropped.
Yes.
Yes. Did you see any of it yet, Phil?
Yes, first episode.
Okay. I did watch 2. I gotta say, the first episode, I don't know, it just...
A lot of setup.
Yeah, you know what it is? So here's what I'll say. I think Iron Fist is an uphill slog from the start. You know, I really think this is a difficult show to do. I don't think they have found their footing for it yet, and I think they still have found their... I think they just... It's hard to figure out what to do with Iron Fist, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because... this is basically it, okay? So, Hell's Kitchen you have with Daredevil, you have him be this guy from Hell's Kitchen. Harlem and Luke Cage, you know, it is a real place that he has, though not a direct tie to, he has built a tie to. Iron Fist, he's a white guy walking around Chinatown. And there's nothing they can do to keep him from being a white guy walking around Chinatown. And you can see that, like, their best... Well, he's struggling with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like he is well aware of his own poor standing to be the champion of this community. But, you know, that doesn't necessarily solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say the second episode was better, and I can see where they're going. But I do feel like they're having, you know, in many ways, the same problems they had the first season. It's not bucked. It's no Inhumans. We can say that for certain. And there are things I do like. I like what they're doing with Typhoid Mary. There's a very interesting visual cue they've done with her where it may just be lighting, but her hair changes from blonde to strawberry blonde to red in different scenes. You got to watch it, because like when you first see her, she's this dark redhead. Then later, she's kind of a strawberry blonde, and that could just be lighting. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but they're definitely working with her split personality persona. Did you see the notes in her apartment? Was that at the end of the first season?
Yeah. I was at the like don't go out and don't move.
Stop moving things around. Yeah, I love that. I love what they're doing with this. I really want to see where it's going with it. You know, Yang as our Hatchet, as the leader of the Hatchets, which is just a weird super villainy thing. You know, with the hatchets, we all carry hatchets. That's our thing. It's like, okay, I'll take your word for it. What I really want to know about this series is if they are going to be doing a lot of fan service, or how much of it will be fan service that you think you see and then they pull back. They did that a lot with Luke Cage this season, you know, where they're hinting at Heroes for Hire, they go to the theater, they do all these things to make you think of the comic book, and then by the end of it, they just pull it all out from under you. And I like that. You know, I like what they did in Cage. I like both getting the hints of fan boldness to sort of pull away from that fan service at the end. I don't know if that's a trick you can do twice, and I don't know if that's a trick that they're going to do in Iron Fist. So far, I think Davos is the most interesting character, although I will say this. They really do put the point on it that I made the first season, which is that Joy is the real villain. You know, as I said from the first season, the woman keeps drugged water in her office. Like, just has it in her office, just in case she has to murder a guy.
Oh yeah, she's never been good.
No, and I think that's a neat take to put on it. I don't want to give you spoilers episode ahead of you, but there is an interesting thing that I don't think they mentioned in the first episode, but one of the guys' names, one of the because I don't want to spoil it for you, because basically there's a guy named Rhino in it. Yes. They spell it differently, but it makes me think about the Rhino in Spider-Man comics, and it makes me think, are we going to get some Rhino in this? Because there's interesting and neat ways that this can work. We're certainly dealing with some weird and interesting artifacts in this story, so a little rhinoplasty might be in the offing. At least that's my hope.
Yeah, I found it interesting. Colleen was working in the first episode, because when they introduced Typhoid Mary and Daredevil, Matt Murdock and Karen Page were working at this law clinic. Mm-hmm. It was like a law clinic for people who didn't have a lot of money. They gave them like free legal advice and helped them get back on their feet when they needed it and stuff. That seems to be what Colleen's doing here.
Yeah, and I think it's neat to have that as a nice link into the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. I think that's maybe kind of the whole thing there, is that you do need to have some kind of ties to these neighborhoods. The one thing that Danny does not have. Mm-hmm. That is the one thing that really separates him from the rest of the Netflix heroes, is that he isn't bound to his place in a way that everybody else is, Mm-hmm. I mean, even though Jessica Jones isn't bound to any particular neighborhood, she has her office, she has her home base. And really what we see with Danny is even kind of a rejection of what should be his home base, which is Rand International, Mm-hmm. And I do wonder if maybe there's going to be a thing where he does start to take a bit more of the Tony Starkian role, that maybe he has to learn to use all his powers. It'll be interesting to see if we get any Luke Cage references in this, or also would be interesting is if there's any tie-in between, as far as timeline between this and Luke Cage. Because at this point, we don't know if this is happening before or after. I think it's happening shortly thereafter the Defenders. So it would be interesting to see if he gets the calls from Luke Cage that come up about this.
Oh, maybe,
or
yeah.
Maybe, Colleen is like, or possibly, this might be where it might go to the point where he and Colleen sort of take over Rand, and that's when they make the decision to send Misty the arm. Just to give you some timeline for it. It would be interesting. It'll be neat to see what they do. Or maybe that happens halfway through the series. We don't know yet. Like I said, I wasn't very impressed by the first episode. Definitely picks up by the second episode.
I still think it's improvement over the first season, though.
Yeah. I mean, although again, I'm not sure how hard that necessarily would have been.
No.
I like the kitchen fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved the armored car robbery. And another thing that we're clearly seeing in this storyline is the idea that Iron Fist is, and we don't get this much in the first one, we're going to see it as it goes on, I think, is coming to terms with what it means to have the power of a dragon. Mm-hmm. And I think that there is perhaps more to this story, more to the dragon, more to everything that we're going to be seeing. And kind of sad you didn't see the second episode, because there actually is a lot of good in the second episode. But Maz and I will talk about that as we restart the Cage Cast soon. Oh, not the Cage Cast, the Iron Cast. We're already doing the Cage Cast. First episode of the Cage Cast dropped for season 2.
Yep.
Soul Brother number 1. Make sure you listen to it, Jive Turkeys. Yes. Also, with my wife, I promise I'm not sure if me and Lilith are going to be able to do the sorry to bother you, call later on today, but we'll see. Unless my Wi-Fi hub comes by then, because it is actually supposed to arrive today. Because it got fixed, and they sent it back on, like, Tuesday, but, like, takes 3 to 4 days to get here, so. Fingers crossed. Anything else in the news today, Philip, that you might want to discuss?
Maybe, but we'll get to it on Capes and Lunatics, so stay tuned, everyone.
Yes, we will. Keep listening to the Netlfix feed, guys. There is much more to come. Philip, if people would like to reach out to you, talk to you, and say, hey, what's with this super short episode where you just rag on Iron Fist for 15 minutes? Because, hey, I like that. Let's do more of that. How can they give you criticisms or compliments, Philip?
You can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com, and on Twitter, I am @nightwingpdp.
And, of course, you can always write to me. And before I go, I just want to say to everyone out there, make sure you listen to the most recent interview Phil Perich did with a phenomenal creator over at DC. I'm going to tell you, you listen to Phil as an interviewer. He is one of the best comic book interviewers I have ever heard. And honestly, it makes me feel bad to ever be on the podcast, because I think I just take away if I ever am there. He was lucky enough to get me out of the room for that interview. And it is one of the best interviews he's ever done. So make sure you scroll down. Who was that with, Philip?
Brian Edward Hill.
Brian Edward Hill. And the man gets to the point. I mean, obviously there's stuff they can't talk about, but he's going to come back. And I think that's solely based on the skill and talent and respect as an interviewer that Phil Perich brings to the table. So any of you creators out there who like that experience, you can request that I not be there and just have a professional interview with Phil, and you will not be disappointed. Okay. And if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way that we are Miles and Paz once did, write to me at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitter since I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is coming back, and Gotham, which is coming back, and Cloak and Dagger, which is coming back, and Runaways, which who knows, and Inhumans, which is not coming back, ever. At Charlie Esser, that's CHARLIEESSER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle for quality. Bing.
Oh, wait, sorry. Here, do that again?
Yeah. CHARLIEESSER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle
For quality. Bing!
There we go. Got to have Miles on the show. Okay. See, and that's what the Netlfix cast has brought to the table. That recording has started. Okay, thank you for connecting with us, ladies and gentlemen. Please super connect with us once again. Good night.
Good night.
And let us know if you like the 15-minute format, kids.
Quick and easy, down and dirty.
Or if you just need more Charlie Professor S.